Hey folks, it's just me again, doing another little spiel on the 1,000 Years of Peace. Sharing with you once again some of the visions that I've had of things to come and what we'll be doing after we've departed this particular earth right now. Okay, after Armageddon, there will be a new earth. I've talked about this, how the sun is going to be burning 7 times brighter. And before that happens, there will be the shock wave that comes when the sun expands or increases its intensity. That shock wave will, of course, shake every single thing on the face of the planet, knocking down every single city and every single thing that man has done. And also within that, it's going to uproot and turn over every single piece of ground that the earth has. The Bible says that the bottom of the oceans will be pushed to the top, and a lot of the ground that we have on our continents are going to be plowed under. The mountains are going to be made level, and the tallest mountain in the world during the 1,000 Years of Peace will be Mount Zion, where Jesus will have the temple set up. And that particular earth there is going to give way to a whole new earth after the 1,000 Years of Peace. So those two new earths that are coming are connected with one of the things that I've seen in my visions, and that is the technology that we're going to be developing. Although we, the regenerated, will not need technology in order to get around, in order to do things, to move from one continent to the other, but there will still be natural people with flesh and blood, who can't move from continent to continent at the speed of thought. Flesh and blood people who still will be stuck in time and space in this on this earth, and they can't go between heaven and earth like we'll be able to. But out of all the people that have been born over all the centuries, we're going to be coming back and developing new technologies. All the people that are alive today in the 21st century, the engineers and the draftsmen and the creative people, they will still be around, and they'll be developing vehicles that will not pollute, vehicles that are far more efficient than what we have now. The tallest buildings that we have now will be the smallest buildings that we'll have during the 1,000 Years of Peace. We'll have cities with transportation systems that actually function efficiently. That will separate the pedestrian traffic from the industrial traffic, from the common commuter traffic, and whatnot. And road systems that will flow far more efficiently. Vehicles, flying vehicles that will move a lot more efficiently than what we have now. They won't be entirely based on propulsion. And they won't be entirely based like helicopters. We'll have new forms of technology, new forms of energy in order to get those going too. Exactly what they will be, I have no idea. I couldn't see the technology in those pictures in my head, in the visions. But even if I could see them, I probably wouldn't understand them because my brain doesn't work like that. So one of the things that I've seen is there's going to be some form of space travel. I believe that Gene Roddenberry and even George Lucas had visions of the future, but they could only interpret it with the 20th century brains that they had, and so their particular visions were still impeded. They still were infected by sin. They still had wrongdoing. They still had weapons and stuff like that. They could see how good life would be during the 1,000 Years of Peace, the 24th, 25th centuries and stuff like that. But again, they could only interpret it with brains that came from the 20th century. So during the 1,000 Years of Peace, one of the things that we'll be doing is we'll be making spaceships, galactic traveling spaceships, that will eventually go out and map and explore the galaxy that we have out there. But the exploration of the galaxies won't be taking place until after the 1,000 Years of Peace. During the 1,000 Years of Peace, we're going to be mapping and exploring every single inch of this planet, as well as all the planets in our solar system. So space travel will be limited to to our particular solar system. And we won't be released until after the 1,000 years of peace, until the far reaches of the galaxy. And there's reasons for that too. Mainly because natural people, flesh and blood people, still have a hard time surviving out in space. We, the regenerated, won't need spaceships to go travel and see what the asteroid belts are all about and see what the other planets are all about. But the natural people will still be limited by the human's body and their inability to travel and maintain health during a long-term spaceflight. So during the 1,000 years of peace, we can go get all the minerals, all the metals, and all the things from the asteroid belt, bring them down to Earth, and help build fleets of spaceships. We won't have to dig up the planet in order to find all the steels and all the minerals from there. We can easily just harvest the asteroid belt to build our structures and to build our own particular star fleet. And so the Starfleet will be around, will be built up during the 1,000 years of peace, but it won't be released until after the 1,000 years of peace. And why that is because after the 1,000 years of peace, we have the final day of judgment, that everybody that has ever existed on the face of the planet will come before God and will have to give an account of everything that they've done, everything they've thought, and everything that they've spoken. And after that final time of judgment is when God himself moves the city that is in heaven onto the face of the planet. The heavenly city will be moved onto the area over top of Jerusalem, in which case when he does that, what's going to be happening is there's going to be an infusion, a combining of all the infinite dimensionless qualities that are in heaven will be combined with the time-space continuum that we have now.